Marty. How's it going?
Yeah, it's
You had a
going
busy,
great. It's
you
going
had a
great.
busy week, right?
It's been busy.
You-
Personally,
Did you?
like I said earlier, I need some help. And of course, you said, oh, professional help. We all might could use that sometime or another. But no, I could actually use another tech or two.
Well,
So we've been busy.
I've got some help here tonight, and you might think that this might be full of vodka. Maybe it's full of water. Maybe it's actually it's a new drink that I found, and the youngsters these days are drinking it, and I thought I'd just try it, and
Okay.
I mean, some of it's all right, but this flavor, I did not. This flavor is terrible. I do not suggest this flavor. But have you ever heard of this stuff called White Claw?
I don't know
It's a hard seltzer to drink. I'll tell you that. But it's not terrible. I mean, this one's actually
there they go
bad.
We won't get them for a sponsor now.
Oh, no. I mean, I like the lime or whatever, but the mango I'm not a fan of.
Okay.
So, but the hard seltzer people, yeah, I don't know. It's all right. I don't know. But so I won't be drinking a lot tonight, that's for sure. I'll be just like slowly sipping a little seltzer.
Usually I drink things for the flavor,
Yeah. Well, I had it. It's here. You just give it a shot. Like, I tried TikTok and I deleted it again. It lasted like a day or two, and then I felt like I was getting brainwashed, so I had to shut it off. So, but I'm still into YouTube. I like YouTube, and I think that makes me,
I'm old school. I'm definitely YouTube. TikTok's too.
We're getting old, Marty. We're only on YouTube, Instagram, and live streaming on YouTube. So like, geez,
I still have an AOL account. Hey. So.
Well, yeah. Are you going to ask me if I sold anything this week?
Sure, John.
Yeah.
Have you sold anything this week?
Let me think. Yeah, I did. Check that out. I totally did. Again, I sold the last thing that I have to sell. That's equipment related. That's not the Astoria that is still in a need of some parts. So we're going to talk about that later, obviously. But yeah, the 3-part sink is gone. So.
Okay, well, good. I know you wanted to get rid of that.
Yeah,
we can turn this into a farmer's market kind of thing here.
I'll chime in here real quick as well. I got to say, people can go back through the Coffee Tech Talk episodes and start to understand John's side hustle income. They could probably calculate it down to almost a T there. And I think that's pretty funny.
Yep. So it's yeah, I got that done. You're doing some powder coating this week, right?
Yeah, we've got several machines in for total rebuilds, and so we've got 2 of them done this week. You've probably seen them on social media. A white GB5 that, and the first time we touched it, rebuilt it, blacked it out. It was all cool. Lived I don't know, about another 10, 11 years. As black, and came back in, and it's white now with kind of I used a textured white for all the trim, and it looks almost like stonework. It's kind of cool.
I'm excited. Like I have this Astoria now, and I've never really, I've only worked on one type of espresso machine in the past because I had a really good account with that manufacturer, and then I started thinking about, well, where do I get parts for all these other things? And then I started thinking about, it's espresso and parts. And I put the 2 words together and I put a .com after it, and I found Heather. And I realized, like, I've known Heather this whole time, and I've just been kind of slow to the party. And then then you mentioned that you have had dealings with them in the past too, and that a lot of people use espressoparts.com to find some of this stuff. And I'm like, how do I get an account? How many rotary or like pumps do I need to buy in a month in order to get my thing? So we're going to kind of talk to Heather about that a little bit. This is Heather.
That's
actually, no, not yet. But that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. No, this is we're just going to introduce her now, and this is who Heather is. And Heather, you'll be with us in just a little bit. But right now, we're going to troubleshoot with Marty. Marty,
okay.
Are you ready for this one? This week?
Is this my challenge? My challenge of the week?
Yeah, this is going to be fun. What happened here? Uh-oh.
There's
Hey,
there's a number of
the,
ways you can do that.
uh-oh. Yeah, you know how hard it took,
Yeah.
you know how long I spent to do that transition, that animation? Uh-oh. So what is this, what happens here? Like, obviously this happens to a lot of people, but yeah, tell me what might have happened in this situation.
Well, my personal experience, how it happened was, at the end of any roast, you have to open a damper at some form to dump the roasted coffee down into the cooling bin.
Yeah.
You got to remember to close that damper. If it doesn't auto close, you got to remember to close it, because if you're doing production roasting or you're doing another roast, and you dump some green down in that uh, into your roaster, and you haven't closed that dump gate, guess
Yeah.
where that green's going to go? It's going to go right
On top of that roast. This has happened to me
Exactly.
probably like 5-10 times in my life, and like every time I'm just trying to think like, okay, well, the first thing that you do is that you start picking at it one at a time, and then
Yeah.
there's, but I think there's an answer that kind of comes even before that. I think that I think we were following the same thread on some like group
Yeah, this
chat on
happened.
Facebook, right?
This just happened recently.
Right. And one of the comments, I think, got the answer correct. And unfortunately, it's like the answer that no one wants to hear. But what do you think that is?
Well, I'll let you say what it is. I know what it
Okay.
is because I was on the thread. But I'll tell you what, in my personal experience, were you there at the roastery when we did that exact thing to a 2-bag roast?
Well,
So
I
you're
mean,
looking at
I think that's happened at many places, but I have heard that had happened.
Yeah, well,
I don't think I was there that day.
The rest of the entire day, 4 or 5 people stood around that cooling bin and separated that coffee.
But also, I think after the fact, there's like a vacuum tube, like a distoner, where you could run the coffee and
There is a density difference weight difference between the two,
right.
So you can kind of get some separation.
And so here's some ideas of technology. Like, how do you what are different ways to kind of like tackle that issue? Because you could use a vacuum loader where if you have that density, like green coffee doesn't weigh as much as the roasted coffee. So when you have a vacuum, a distoner with a vacuum on it, you can maybe even, and I wonder, like, I think we even had this conversation of like calibrating it just enough to where the roasted coffee will float up, but the green coffee just quite won't be able to make it up that tube.
Exactly.
And then also the gravity separator, which you see here, where you have an air table that kind of blows air up underneath, and everything that's heavier will float to one side or the other. But who's going to have this in their roasting facility in the United States, right?
Wasn't one of the suggestions on that string, which I thought was a great suggestion, as long as it worked. I haven't tried this, but it makes sense. A 5-gallon bucket and agitate it.
Like winnowing, trying to, and that does happen too. It kind of settles, the roasted and the green do settle apart. But all that being said, I don't think that there's a specific small portable tool that has been developed that every roaster uses. And I think that it might have something that, well, I mean, one of the people on the thread said that green coffee has dust on it. It has not been roasted. It is not really food ready packaged. I'm not sure if it's something that you can actually use. I mean, once you dump a bunch of stuff into a roasted bag, you kind of have to throw it all away. That's a good point. Or re-roast it. And I think it really depends on your food code. But I mean, I think that the suggestion is, I mean, my first thing would be safety first, don't use it. My second thing is like, well, do what you want, but don't, you didn't hear it from me. But basically follow the food code. And if I dumped a bunch of stuff on coffee, you just don't pick it up off the floor and put it into a bag. So you
absolutely bring up a good point.
Yeah. And someone mentioned that on the thread, and I thought that was kind of cool. So, but yeah, so I have today, what machine is this? This is a good one. All right. If you get this off of this slide, I will be.
I'm always nervous about these.
Okay. What is it?
Oh.
I'm trying to get tough on you here.
Boy, that sure looks familiar, but like last week, right out of the barrel, I knew exactly what you're doing.
I don't know if you've even worked on this before. There's your clue. You may have never worked on this before. And I don't think Heather can sell this either. Or maybe you do, maybe not. I doubt it. But
there's
it is a piece
not much
of coffee
going on
equipment.
there. And
Okay.
you got a relay.
Is this a giveaway?
Well, you got a thermal link. I'm saying it's a drip coffee of some sort.
Okay, no. Next. Not even close. But I'll give it to you. It has something to do with coffee.
Oh, well, that's a plus.
This is probably the giveaway. I bet you this is the giveaway. Maybe. And I can give you a clue on this. What is it? First off, it's what would this be?
That is a motor drive, and so that's gonna be turning a drum. So that's a small roaster of some sort.
Right.
Have I guessed it yet?
You got that. You've narrowed it down to exactly. Yes. And so what kind of
heat elements? That would be a quartz heat elements.
And that's not a squirrel cage, but you could use it as one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could put. I put this out in my front yard.
You could get your hamster in that.
You could get a hamster in it. You can't get a raccoon in it. You could get a couple mice in it, or one really big, maybe like not a possum. Yeah, not a possum.
Yeah, that's a steeplechase hamster roller.
All right. So if you put all this together, what do you get? Are you gonna make a guess on it? You got it right. You said it was a small roaster of some sort. Do you want to throw out a brand name? Do you think you know what the brand is on this one?
I am horrible with that. That's that one with the glass front on it.
And it kind of looks like a microwave, right?
Yeah.
You got it. You win. I'll give it to you. It's a Bmore 2000 AB Plus, an award-winning coffee roaster that enables coffee roasting. Blah blah blah. I don't know. They didn't pay me anything for this. I don't have to read any of that. I don't care. But yeah, it's a Bmore. It's a Bmore roaster.
And you know what?
I love how it says it says Bmore passion for all things, and I like their name because it's like be more into it or whatever. It's a nice play on words.
I have roasted coffee on one of those, but I've never. You're absolutely correct. I've never worked on one. Never had one apart.
And Marty, the cool thing
is that a good sign or a bad sign, Marty?
I've never worked on
just
one?
a machine well built?
No, I don't think so. I think I've not been.
I mean, these are more commercial. Home focused machines. But if you do go to Bmore, you'll also see that they have the Bmore Jake, which is a smaller like sample roaster size. So this is kind of like what you would be more apt to kind of normally seeing. It's a small little coffee roaster. So this is kind of cool too. But if you go on their website, they do have all of the parts listed out, and you can pretty much buy every little thing that you want. But that's where you go for that one. That's it.
I think you got me. I think I concede you got me on that one.
Oh, next week it's gonna be even harder. And then the week after that's gonna be a couple levels up. But I'll say we're gonna leave the country for the next one, maybe.
Hey, I have one for you. Whenever we can spin this around
next week, let's spin it.
I have one for you, and
awesome.
We'll get that together.
Well, so Heather's been hanging out in the waiting room and enjoying. I think we have a hot tub, we have a sauna, we have a whole bunch of stuff in the waiting room. I don't know what she has been doing. There's a couch. There's a little office space. There's a bouquet of flowers. A couple pets of your choice.
All out for Heather.
I mean, there was some wine. There was a whole bar of White Claw mango because I had to get rid of it somehow. So I put it in the waiting room. Well, some of the other flavors aren't too bad. But so anyway, Heather, welcome.
My God.
You're welcome to the show. And,
Thank you.
How's it going? Did you enjoy the waiting room?
It was really lush. Thank you so much.
Did you partake in any of the extra stuff that fictitiously
Yeah, well,
was
I'm
there?
allergic to mango, so I didn't drink any of the White Claw.
Apparently, I am starting to become allergic to mango too.
Yes, it's a really good excuse.
But I mean, everybody's doing it, so
It's
you know,
true.
you gotta, you know, just like
It's
TikTok, you
the
give it a
end
shot
thing.
and then let it go.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, so you know, so it's Halloween time, and another reason why I was like, oh yeah, this cup. Where did I get this cup? And it's just espresso. It's like an old logo,
Right.
right? Not the new
It's
one.
it's the Jolly Roger. We modified it a little bit, but that fun tip, that artwork was actually created by my partner Dave, and he was the graphic designer for Espresso Parts for a time, and he designed that.
I've got two of them, and I think I
Yeah.
picked them up at a trade show where I met you somewhere along the line when it was the SCA, the ska, not the ska.
Right.
And
2 ways. Way back machine.
And Marty, you've met Heather, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Like I said, she is like a force to reckon with at SCA. She is either sitting intensely judging a competition, or she's on a mission. She is going somewhere, doing something.
And as far as this pre-show goes, Marty and Heather, when I heard when people heard that you were going to be on the show, I got way more Instagram likes or hits or whatever you call them on this show than the last couple of ones. So apparently I have a lot of friends that are kind of like, you know,
I think
like,
we know a lot
Heather,
of the same people, which is really nice.
And there's Heather fans out there.
I don't think you've ever had to judge me though as a barista competitor. I only did it once. And
I don't know that I did. Yeah.
I know you didn't, because I would have remembered. It was terrible.
It was terrible.
And it was in Kansas City, Marty. It was when I did it once. It was 2012 or 13.
13.
Yeah.
2013.
But I've judged before that and I judged after that, but it's
yeah. Well, that's fun, you and I have judged together, so that's what it was. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, John, you did a good thing. You lost to Pete Licata that year.
Oh, is that it? I lost to a lot of people.
Was that all?
I mean, I lost to almost everybody that day. I think I lost to myself. Even. It was so close.
It takes such bravery to do that, though. There's you know, it takes a special person and a significant bravery to compete in a coffee competition. It's amazing.
Actually, that same day I won the Brewers Cup. So, but you know, you win some, you lose some.
I know, that's nothing to shake a stick at. Yep. Good job.
Hey Marty, have you competed yet?
No, I have way too much respect for those that do compete.
Oh, come on. I mean, you got to try it. Have Heather and I judge you?
Yeah, there you go.
I would do a mock competition, absolutely. But
I always say leave it to the professionals. I'm happy to sit at the table.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll try to keep this as short as possible. In 2013, the reason I remember that year, that was the year that Pete won the world. And I was able to see his presentation from the moment that he thought about competing and started putting it down on paper until he won, and all of the hours and hours and hours and hours that he put into that, and all the different iterations of every moment of that presentation. I'm not going to do that.
I'm never going to do it again either. It was once is enough, and you really respect. I mean, judging is hard, and then watching these, you know, everybody, you know, set their station. It's and then actually doing it once was way credit to everybody who keeps on competing and has done it more than once.
Yeah, I know.
So we're taking it to the competition level up here, but I want to talk about one of my favorite brewers right now. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you right? I know
that's
you're
awesome.
Gonna be like, you like that thing? I don't know. So I got it at the
that's great.
Isn't that crazy? Like, you know, this thing, this OXO, or how do you say it? OXO?
I say it OXO.
OXO.
I say OXO.
Yeah. I mean, it's for the people who really want to get into pour overs and want to, you know, kind of not spend too much money, not take too much risk, and want to have like this sort of like a it's sort of like a clever slash, just kind of like a regular pour over with a reservoir water on top, and it kind of regulates the drip, right? Have these been popular on your end as far as orders go, or not too much?
Moderately so. It's been really fun to kind of work with OXO to help kind of launch their coffee line. I've had the opportunity to work with them. They're great folks. And these are, I think people have a hard time getting their minds around how they work.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
But I love the idea, and they work great because of that regulated kind of shower distribution over the coffee bed.
Yeah. I've added a little hack to this. Basically, the bottom.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
And I'm going to give it away, and I'm curious, and this might not help business, it might hurt it, but it might help it again. I don't know. But so the bottom half is just a pour over plastic dripper, which is great. But I have I don't know how many of those I have. I have a bee house. I've got a slew of different ones that have no names,
right? All
shapes and sizes. But that top plastic reservoir that's circular, that has that indentation on the bottom, it fits on all of them. And I don't need the bottom. I just need the top. And so I just want to buy the top piece, which is probably only $5.99. So I'm wondering, could you sell me those just without the bottom and just the top half?
I wish I could. Maybe we should take it to OXO.
Yeah,
I think we should.
John, you are so cheap.
Not cheap. I would call it mindful of finances.
There, yeah, totally.
And not only that, I want to. Can I patent like half of a patent? Like sort of like they patent the whole thing, but I just want to patent the top thing.
Especially not now that you've vocalized it. You're probably
and I think that they've already done it. I'm missing a part, and I just want that part. I don't want the whole thing. So if you want to make this an available part, let me know. But I highly suggest this to everything. But there's like a bunch of stuff on espressoparts.com that you can choose from. Pick your own poison or your battle, and there's beautiful things and a lot of things easy to learn. Marty, what's your favorite brewer right now? What do you got?
Right now is the Bonavita Clever Dripper.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. And in fact, I have kind of gone through the appropriate filters for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out that Bun standard, if you just put it in there and kind of poke it around, get your coffee in there, that it works just fine. So it's kind of universal. Paper filter wise, it's very forgiving. So no, it's that's my go-to. It's almost the let's make coffee with it before you've had coffee kind of brewer, because you get the only thing I measure is the amount of coffee, but I just fill it up to a visual line that I have measured before, so I know how much water that is. So I don't weigh it. So I do weigh my coffee, throw the water in it. I wait 3 minutes. I give it one stir just to knock everything down. 30 seconds later, let it go. Open it up and
that's great.
It.
Heather,
now what's one caveat on that is that Holly Baston has got me into reducing my amount of water, so I have a little bit higher coffee to water ratio, and then adding some hot water after the brew.
Oh, nice. I love that bypass. Yes, the bypass rules. Woo! The bypass comes back again. Heather, what's going on with bypass? What's your favorite brewer? What do you got going on?
Well, so
I guess you're in a sticky spot to give favorites. So
no, it's
no?
good.
Right.
I'm always a Kalita dripper person. Like I have never along the same the same path of making things easy. I think the Kalita does a really good job of doing that. That even bed of coffee, really great. But I have to let you in on a secret. My OXO actually came out with an automatic dripper, the 8-cup dripper, and that has been my go-to since lockdown.
Nice.
So we've been working from home, and we got one as a sample and I think one of my coworkers might even be watching tonight.
Nice.
He took the sample home and then bought it. And then I got the next sample to test, and I bought it. So
Yeah.
it's so multiple of us enjoyed it enough that we purchased it for home. We love it.
Well, I was at the SCA symposium last year, and that brewer that I showed was in the gift. It was in the symposium bag,
Yeah,
and I didn't know how to put it together. I was like, "What is this? And what is that?" And I finally figured it out. And then it's just like, light bulb.
Magic.
Yeah. But anyway, so other than brewing equipment and ceramic, I mean, you even sell 3-part sinks. I see, apparently, right? I was just like, maybe they have a 3-part sink, and I'm like, boom, there it is.
I know.
You've got the whole thing.
Exactly. We have over 6,000 SKUs on our website.
Wow.
So and every little part counts, so there's tons of everything from O-rings and, spring seats to high-end espresso machines. We've got so many items. It's crazy.
So I put this list up here. This is off the website, talking about commercial espresso parts, and then you have your top brands. You have probably more brands than that. And then on the bottom it says espresso grinder parts, home espresso parts, which I apologize. I never actually dove down into that part of espresso parts. And now I will, because I have people asking me, hey, can you fix this machine? And I'm like, well, no, just La Marzocco. But now the world has just opened up to a lot of other things. So
that's true.
Thank you, I think.
Yeah.
No, they're a great resource for that, John.
Yeah. Marty, have you, so like, I want to see, like, how do we, do independent technicians, Marty, like in the Coffee Technicians Guild, and Heather, and from your experience, like, I don't do this, full time. It's sort of like after 5 and on the weekends. And if there's an espresso machine out there that someone needs fixed in Nebraska, I'm kind of here to help. And now I can help a little bit more with these parts. But like, is this where most people go to get parts, or are independent technicians calling each manufacturer for parts still? Or are they calling people?
Do you want to answer to that, Heather? Do you?
Well, I
think we both have input on
what
that.
our experience is, and I'd love to hear what your kind of experience is too. I think the nice thing about our site, and because we've been in the industry for so long, people know where to come to find the parts they need. Sometimes it's people who, business owners, cafe owners who are trying to DIY it. And other times it's, hey, I found a machine on Craigslist and I want to fix it. Hey, I have an Astoria in my kitchen. I need a pump for it.
Exactly.
Yep. And or it's techs, and it's techs who are kind of like you, John, who are like are in possibly a remote or a smaller area where there's not a huge concentration of one type of espresso machine. They're willing to work on anything. And the fact that we carry parts for so many brands allows them to, stock the things that are common, that'll get somebody back online, a solenoid or, something like that, pressure stat, and, but then if they need something specific to the brand, they can just get it shipped right away. And
I learned so much by looking at this, because it says Astoria, Rio, CMA, and then it says Astoria, common universal parts, and then parts individual to each. So it's not only a place to get parts, it's to learn a lot about the different brands and how they're related and which parts work universally. I mean,
and then as you drill down in each section, you can also see, oftentimes we'll have expanded parts diagrams at the top of every page. So our website is categorized by brand, and then by model, and then by section of the machine. So, we'll have a whole section on hydraulics, a whole section on the group head, a whole section on the boiler. So you can dive into exactly that expanded parts diagram and see what you need right there.
And this is what I need right here. You see it?
Yeah, I see it. That rotary pump. Right?
Marty, which one do I need though? Like, which one do you think I need?
Just by one of each. Just by one of each.
Just one of each.
Wait,
so
you need a pump for your motor? For the 220 motor?
I'm sorry. I should have said I don't need a motor. I need a pump. Yeah.
Oh, you need the pump.
Yeah. This thing is pretty. This the stem on it, Marty.
Oh yeah, locked up.
Oh, locked up like I've never seen a locked
Oh, you
up.
haven't
locked
bought
up.
that yet?
Well, no, I'm not in a hurry.
Two-group?
I'm not in a hurry. It's a 2-group. So I was thinking like high volume versus not high volume. Right?
Not high volume.
And high
Yeah,
volume is
want
what?
to go
4-group, 3-group.
Yeah, 3 to 4 is the high volume.
Okay. Well, that was easy. Next
Yeah.
slide. There's your like.
That's the La Pavoni home
job,
machine,
Heather.
man.
This is awesome. I found one of these at a yard sale once for 50 bucks.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. And then you find every little part here. And I didn't know that Espresso Parts sold individual parts for these like home espresso machines.
This is the hidden gem of our website too. Is this is people don't realize we carry these, and then we have these repeat customers who have been buying from us for 20 years, and this is all they buy is their rebuild for their Pavoni machine. And
now I have to like take this on as more work, because people in the neighborhood, in Lincoln, they're like, hey, can you fix this machine at home? And I'm like, well, if it's on the espressoparts.com list, yes. Now I can.
There you go.
But it's still, there's still limitations, because there's some machines I don't know. Mark.
I don't know that I'd want to touch this, just for the record. You might want to leave this off your list.
Marty, have you played around with these? You ever rebuilt one?
Oh yeah, we rebuild them all the time. In fact, we get those parts from Espresso Parts because
great. Good.
They're the best source for us for that type of part. To kind of answer your earlier question, we do tend to buy parts from the manufacturers and not the aftermarket, but we're fortunate enough that we've built those relationships over the years to be able to do that. There's a lot of people out there that are fine technicians, or they own a cafe or several cafes, and they just want to keep their equipment running. They don't have time to be building relationships with manufacturers, and so Espresso Parts is an ideal source for them.
Marty, I have a question for you. Do you guys stock parts?
Yeah. We've got now we stock parts as a to support our technicians. Plus a little, because we do have a lot of the mom and pops, they kind of want to do their own thing. A couple of the roasters have a kind of a first aid, if you will, technician that will fly in there and do the minor stuff and get them over humps. So we do supply some stuff for them, but we're not a supply house.
Right. Well, and I think that really is a deciding factor for a lot of people is your business at a place where you could, have that direct to manufacturer relationship because you're stocking things, or are you going direct to the manufacturer because it's something really obscure, and so things that maybe we don't even carry, some of the, like a complete boiler, that's not something we tend to stock, because most of the time people are refurbishing those anyways, cleaning them, putting them back online. But if they need something like that, or they need a part that Simonelli might have in the back of their warehouse for a machine they don't manufacture anymore, those are things that we'd send somebody direct.
And I've run into a couple issues or timing issues where there was a back order from a manufacturer, but Espresso Parts had it in stock, and that was just save the day. There's a bank of inventories that anybody can kind of have access to. So it's kind of another nice backer, especially during COVID, where parts are like being flown from all over the world, and it's really kind of slowed everything down. Actually.
Yep.
I'd probably ask you about that too. Another hour about how COVID impacted the supply chain of espresso parts around the world.
Right.
Has it slowed it at all, or?
It has. I mean, more than anything, I think, obviously closures early on, especially in Italy, impacted a lot of things.
Yeah.
And a lot of them actually, oddly enough, most of us experienced Italy closing for the month of August. and that also delays a lot of things. So we see backups with like Mazzer grinders and other production of those types of things. You know, you'll see a slowdown. But this year, a lot of companies opted to stay open because they were closed earlier in the year. So some of our main suppliers for parts stayed open through August. But the weirdest thing about COVID is that it's really hard to book an airplane to put your stuff on.
Oh.
And so because there's not as many commercial flights happening, and a lot of times commercial flights will put a couple pallets of stuff, or you can get your stuff on a commercial flight. And because the flights are not happening as commonly, it's really hard. You're delayed in booking a flight to get a pallet delivered.
Huh.
Hadn't
So
thought of
it's-
that, but I bet that's right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I got some exciting other gems that I found while like going through espressoparts.com. It's just this a video from YouTube on changing group gaskets. And I get this question a lot, and I thought this might be one of those things I could piece out later in the show, sort of like, hey, how do you change a group gasket? And I want to see how Espresso Parts does it. So I'm gonna have, hey, Dietrich, can you load up the video, and we're gonna play the whole thing. It's a whole minute.
Okay, here we go.
So it's like two commercials in one.
Are we talking over it?
Wow, holy smokes. Wow, what a video. You guys, you could put on a video and you put it on YouTube. This is so cool. It's like you changed the gasket and you made it look easy.
I mean, it is. Do you know what I learned from that video? Which, 16 years in the industry before I went to work for Espresso Parts, is that you can use the portafilter ears to seat the gasket. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I had no idea.
I don't know how else you're gonna do it.
Well,
right?
I did it a different way when I was at the coffee roasting company I worked for.
You get like a pencil and you just kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all done it all different kind of ways.
But no, finally, like I'm trying to say, but gaskets can be really difficult to remove. I mean, no matter what kind of tool you have.
John, do you know why they're difficult? No, John, here's the only reason they're difficult.
I want to know.
The only reason they're difficult is that you haven't changed them often enough.
That's true.
100%.
I'm being 100% serious. If you change them as often as you really should, they'll come out easy like the video.
Oh, and the best thing to do once you hammer it out and you get it. I actually had one guy, old technician. He was like, when it gets really tough, you can get a drywall screw with really heavy thread, and take your power drill and just kind of drill it up there, and then take a pair of pliers and pull it down. But that usually works. And then either that, or I use my Leatherman tool with a little hook on it, like a little hook.
And
that
Marty,
usually gets out.
Marty, real quick as well.
Yes.
How often should you be changing gaskets?
It depends on. I go by the manufacturer's recommendation, and it varies. But you cannot go wrong if you just stick with every 6 months.
Every 6 months is golden. Yeah.
We say more often.
3 months, right?
Well,
3 months. Yeah. But you can't go wrong with 6. 6 is Marty.
I can't argue with that.
Marty, you got to say 3. So then when they do, it's going to be at 6, right? So if you give someone a mile, they're going to take 5, or they're only going to have, I don't know, whatever. They're not going to do anything. Yeah. Just say 1 month and you'll get it done in 6 months.
Exactly. It's like an oil change.
But but afterwards, do you ever just like take the gasket out and then just kind of say, like, if it breaks, it's past its time, right? Like if it just crumbles.
Oh,
That's
It's way past.
yeah, if you can't get it out in one piece, it's way past. I've got
Yeah.
a chart that I wrote down that at 6 months, here's what to expect and what tools you need. If you wait a year, here's the tools you would expect to need. If you
Oh,
wait
that's
2
smart.
years,
Yeah.
bring nothing.
Let me save you some money.
Yeah,
Are one of those tools you on in a truck coming out saying like in 9 months you're going to need the Marty tool,
Right. And then you're going to need
and
the
you
Marty.
don't want to pay for that.
Yeah,
You don't want to
you're
pay
going
for
to
that.
need the Marty emergency call, which is 5
exactly.
times the amount.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, if you're a working shop and that machine's doing you service and you wait 9 months, I guarantee you here's another, we can go down another rabbit hole. If you wait beyond my 6 months, and don't change it, what you're training all of your baristas to do is to crank that portafilter in because they have to keep it from leaking. The problem with that is when you put the new gaskets in, you can't untrain them. They're
Right.
going to smash those new ones just like they had been doing the other ones. They won't need to, and so now you get carpal tunnel. It's a downhill slide.
All for
that's
a
not good. Change them.
$3 gasket.
And
Not
Heather,
Exactly. And
One more question. Can I chime in with
Yeah.
one more question, Marty?
Yeah.
This is a rumor I heard in the barista field. And
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
No. Does really cranking on that gasket wear it out quicker?
Absolutely. It hardens it. It stresses it. It's not good for that gasket.
And Heather, I was thinking about like the different types of you have, was it like 6 mm or 7, 8 mm? I think let's just say for La Marzocco, they have
A
different
7 to 9 and a
thicknesses,
6
right?
to 8. Yep.
And
Yep.
and I think every time I ask or kind of try to figure out like which one's the right one, and they say, well, it depends on how much usage your machine has had and how much is the wear and tear. Now, is that like on the portafilter ears, or is it more so
And
up
in
the
the group,
machine?
I think, as I
Right.
understand it, it's just I mean, because it's brass, you're wearing down something that's somewhat soft, and you're putting oftentimes a stainless steel portafilter nowadays into a brass head, so you're getting wear, and so the thicker the gasket is, the more wear your portafilter and
Heather's right. It wears both
Yeah.
the ears
Yeah.
and what we call the bayonet.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
receiving those
So
ears.
is the bayonet that's being held by those on a La Marzocco Linea 3 bolts, right?
Yeah, the
And
three hex bolts.
right. And so that piece wears out along with the portafilter ears themselves. And putting those two together, if you change, let's say, the portafilter out for a new portafilter, and you bought a gasket for an old portafilter, I couldn't even get the new portafilter in because it was too tight. So
Correct.
Well,
there
and
is a
then-
calibration you have to go through, right?
Right. And then let's talk about how much you've crushed your basket by knocking it too hard on the knockbox over time.
There you go. That's true. I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Like the basket itself
They
on the
flatten out.
ridge. They do.
Yeah.
Okay. Look
Yep.
at that. I mean, wow. You give Marty a call. If you have a problem with this, everybody, you can call me
That's
too.
right.
But
Call Marty. Don't call me.
And call it. You can call Espresso Party. I don't know, Heather. Are you gonna answer the phone? Are you there?
I
I'm
do
gonna-
actually answer the
You
phone
do?
sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I get an email from you. And I'm like, oh, awesome. It's Heather. Hey, how's it
Yeah.
going?
Yeah.
So
People are really surprised. People who I know, like I think I talked to like Brady, maybe Butler, and he's
hey
like,
Brady, hope you're watching.
I
I'm gonna
know,
email
right?
you
Shout
and
out
tell
to
you you have to
Brady.
watch this now.
exactly. And he was like, what are you doing answering the phone? I'm like, I actually do answer the phone from time
We
to
haven't
time.
even really talked about what you do at Espresso Parts.
Oh, that's
So,
true.
and let's talk about that. So you answer phones.
I do. That is one of the things that I do.
What
You'll
else are you
actually
doing?
Get me on chats from time to time.
You used to do some judging, so like your
I used
outreach,
to.
do some. All right. You
Yep,
just making
yep.
you're making business better. Is that your
That's
and
it.
coffee?
Yeah. Technically speaking, I am the business development manager, director at Espresso Parts. So
Nice.
we, but we're a small team. So I I oversee our customer service crew, and of which there are 3 of us. So this is why you have a chance of 1 in 3 chance of getting me.
I'll just
on
call
the
3
phone.
times. I'll just hang
Yeah.
up on the other 2.
Don't, because they're really nice people. I promise.
Well, I know they're nice, but I don't want to talk to them. I want to talk to you. I'm buying parts because I want to talk to you.
Yeah, well, most of the
All right.
time, if you're buying parts, you actually want to talk to Dave. So
Okay, well, I'll talk to Dave next time.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know enough. I say this to people. I know enough to get into trouble, and then I will tell you when I need to transfer you to Dave. And so Dave's our resident parts expert and
Yep.
a technician who used to work in be a technician in the field. And then Van Stevens is our other customer service rep, and he and I actually worked together at the coffee roasting company at Batdorf and Bronson.
That's right.
his
Which
background
Batdorf
is-
and Bronson?
Which one?
Was there only one?
There was only, well, I mean, the coffee roasting company owned 2 divisions. So we worked out of Olympia, and then they
Okay.
also own a space in Atlanta. So
I was wondering if you were in Atlanta or not, but that
I did spend a good amount of time in Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay. I think
love
that's
that. My Southeast barista community is my favorite.
Hey, they're strong and they are
amazing.
active, and it's a
Yeah.
great scene to be a part of. And
I know.
I mean,
I love
everywhere actually.
those guys.
So
Yeah,
you've been with
yeah.
Espresso Parts for a while, right?
I
mean,
have,
I remember.
so coming on 8 years with Espresso
Okay.
Parts. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
we,
Hey,
you know,
Heather, I want
Yeah.
to give a shout out to your tech support. They're great.
oh, thank you.
Anybody that's out there that's trying to get their machine up and running, they call for tech support. They're going to get somebody that knows what they're doing.
That's
Oh,
a
that's
question
great.
I've got
Thank you.
on my list. This is the next slide after this one is a rapid fire question
Ooh, nice.
list from me, and as fast as you can answer it all.
Whew.
But
Pressure's
the next
on.
but this next slide is another video. And Dietrich, if you want to play like just 30 seconds, it's mostly just the intro to kind of talk about
Sounds
like
good.
what is this gem that I found? Another gem. I can't wait to buy up all these used things here.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and
let's
play it.
transfer over to it.
Sounds exciting.
And wouldn't you just love to see the rest of that video so you actually know what's going on, what they're doing? And I'm like, oh, I was just about ready to learn how to
Cliffhanger.
the doser to the doser list. This is called the dosey dough, right, Marty? I just made that up.
No, I love it. I use that word,
it's-
do-si-do.
I'm sorry. It's a latte night edition. It's late. It's very latte. I'm just done. Like Marty and I, we had
It's
this,
a
we had
dose or
this, like,
don't.
dose or don't, right?
Dose
Dosey
or
do.
don't.
I don't know. It's
Dose
dosey
or
dough. Is that like
don't.
it? Okay. So these old Mazzers, you know, if you're just kind of like doing this, wasting a bunch of coffee, and then what year did everybody say like, oh, if we could just push a button and dose exactly 20 grams ish out? And then you have all these extra ones laying around. What do you do with them? Well, go to Espresso Parts, right? Do you get a
Yeah.
lot of this? Are people doing this?
We do. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And the fact that people kind of find it's under the resources pages on the website. And I say it like we did it. I didn't do it. Some really skilled folks at Espresso Parts, mainly a great video person, and Dave Merkin. Actually, I'm going to advance your who's in that video, did that video for us. So but yeah, we always had the parts list, but never a like tutorial, and this was a great way to do it.
And I was looking through all of your videos and I was trying to figure out which one's the one that was most watched, and this is not the one, but this was one that was highly watched, and I was thinking like, this is a perfect answer to those frequently asked questions that you're going to have, like, well, how do you do this, but how do you sell this piece if no one knows how to do it? And doing this video, I want to go buy some. I don't have any grinders to fix, but how much does it cost to do this on like on Mazur Mini or like a Major or Luigi?
I feel like it might be under $300 to do it, including the doser. Yeah,
like the retail doser on that.
Yeah, exactly. The biggest piece of it, the biggest investment is the funnel. You know,
the funnel, not the electric.
Well, so no, this is the catch, is that the doser to doser list does not make it an e-grinder.
Oh,
sorry.
We're gonna have to edit this all out.
No. So
well, there you go.
It basically makes it so that the knob is an on-off switch, and
that is so good, though.
And it funnels it into the portafilter. It still works, but if it was easy enough to modify a doser to an electronic, Mazur wouldn't make both, right? So
I
this
bet
is
you,
sort
Marty,
of a
you could
hack
probably
in
do
between.
it. Marty, can you hack
there's
it?
some hacks. The hacks that I've seen really don't even get into the grinder. You put a timer outside.
Yep.
Well, like a Delta timer, right?
Exactly. So you
plug
the timer into the wall,
I developed an app for that.
Roaster into it.
I developed an app for it.
You did? For real?
No. Wouldn't that be cool though if you could like just like develop an app for it?
Yeah.
But those timers look like a PID, and you can adjust them in tenths of a second. Then you
that was an old Michael Elvin hack. Mike Elvin used to hack that. Yeah, Delta timers and a momentary switch, right? And then Dave Ringwood, who's my brother, who also does custom work for Espresso Parts. He's our custom shop guy. He modified a whole bunch of grinders, Robers, with those Delta timers and momentary switches for Intelligentsia back in the day, actually.
Awesome.
But you know, even without the timer, going to a doser-less setup like that is still a huge improvement over this.
Yeah, dosing. I mean, 100%. But like, and having that ability to turn off, turn on, and having it, you know, go. That's wonderful. And it looks like we can do the hack no matter what if we just call Espresso Parts.
So we have
Dave. We got a question.
We have a comment.
Michael Sabul, I hope I'm saying that right, said that you can replace the boards as well.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Yeah, you can.
Excellent. Yep.
I know. Yeah. I mean, we sell those too because they do wear out, the touch plates and the boards too.
Well, it's 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, and so that would make it 8 o'clock Pacific Time. So here is my John's Rapid Fire question session. I like saying that. I don't know why, but okay. Let's get this done within a minute.
These are good questions, John.
All right. Yeah. How do you qualify for a wholesale account?
Great. You qualify for a wholesale account if you have a business license and reseller's permit in the state you operate in.
And that includes a sole proprietorship and using that kind of information. Okay.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
What else?
Yep.
What else do you have to do?
You go to espressoparts.com. There's two ways to do it, but very bottom of the page, there's a wholesale inquiry button, and you just fill out that information, and then you send us a copy of that business license and reseller's permit. Pictures will do, and we'll get you all set up for a wholesale account.
I think I'm halfway there or done. I don't know. I haven't caught up, but it was a really easy process.
Good.
Next one is, how do you handle tech support for products?
Yeah. So, you know, because we are, I like to say customer focused or customer, I don't know. We really deliver the best customer service we possibly can. So you can get us on the phone Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 Pacific time, and or on chat or on email. And it's our goal to answer questions within 24 hours or less for those.
With anything that you sell. Anything that you sell.
Yep.
And
anything.
Marty, you said something about this, and I wanted to kind of save that conversation. What did you have to say about the tech support at Espresso Parts? Like, it was good.
Of course, I've known Dave for a long time, but
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
They know what they're talking about, and they know what they're selling. They
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. They're not going to sell you a part and not know anything about it.
Oh, I have an experience, like, even if they did sell me a part that I bought, by mistake, and I just had to print out a return slip, and the post office picked it up, and I had to do nothing, Marty, nothing, Heather. I did nothing. I was shamed how easy it was. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like Amazon Prime plus. I didn't even have to pay for it, right? So like
that's true. We do offer free returns.
Yeah, not to say that everybody should do that. Just be wise in your part selection.
Well, the thing that we say is, if you're not sure it's going to work for you and it's something that's not an electronic part, I will put a little asterisk to that, but if it's not an electronic part and you're not sure if it's going to work or not, order it. And if it doesn't, call us and we'll take it back.
What about machines and like the OXO brewer or whatever that was like $15.99 or something? Like, you don't like it?
Yeah, any of those. Many times we either, let's say you didn't like it, you just return it in the original packaging. Honestly, we have a 365-day return policy. So anything up to a year. Yeah.
We'll have to watch that.
Yeah. Now equipment's a little bit different because
so I can't send back
Strata.
I can't return my heating element after a year.
Right. No, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah.
Or a portafilter or a basket or a screen.
If you had not used the portafilter, you could. And if you had not used the basket, you could.
But like a broken up gasket that's like 6 months old, and just be like, hey, this didn't work. Sorry. I mean, Marty said 6 months, and then I did it at a year.
Yeah.
But I mean, his 6 months is my year.
Right.
So what makes your shipping and return policy excellent? I think we just touched on that. I don't know if there's anything other than your emails.
Well, I can touch on our shipping kind of guidelines a little bit. We COVID time has been a little bit different, but we work really hard. Our shipping department is amazing. We work really hard to get orders out same business day, or within 24 hours of ordering for business hours. We do work Monday through Friday, so we're not shipping, and we're at the whim of the shippers, but we have daily pickups. Everything goes out same day that we pack and ship. So we work really hard to get things out right away.
Why is your customer service amazing?
Well, I think we focus, it's a mantra of ours to provide the best service, period. And I think that all of us, are passionate about that, and we want to make things the best possible experience for people. So
it might be because you have, like you said, you also have a small team, right?
Yeah, we do.
And maybe that kind of helps, right?
It totally does. And we all have a combined, I actually once calculated the people who of the coffee industry experience that we had at Espresso Parts. It was over 100 years combined.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's a good one.
It doesn't help that a couple of us have been in for 30, so. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your most frequently asked question?
Oh.
I know you have FAQs, but what's the one that's like, that this person's going to ask you this? It's like one out of every, or is it pretty random?
We have themes. So this is the funny part, is like this week's theme was, for me, was they're calling us thinking they're calling a different company.
Oh, nice. So someone else's advertising campaign really worked well for you.
Pretty much. Yeah. Like this week it was like, can I return my order? Here's my order number. I was like, that's not our order number. So that was interesting. We do troubleshoot a lot of questions similar to what you said, of like, what size gasket should I order for my machine? What size basket should I use?
Nice.
And then I'm trying to think what else. Man,
well,
that's hard.
Marty, what's your most frequently asked question of the month?
Oh yeah.
For us, it's all over the map.
It's probably like, hey Marty, can you join me on Tuesday?
I know.
No. No, seriously,
Yeah.
like all over the map. Nothing like a theme. Because I honestly don't have one either. I think that it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So
No,
that means that being a tech is exciting.
It's different every time, right? You're never sure when you pick up the phone.
I do know this, kind of in that thought process, we have this weird thing going on. If we happen to mention a customer that's out there, they will call with a problem.
Yeah.
So we try not to talk about anyone.
I understand that.
Well, hey, speaking of which, what about commercial brewing equipment? I was scouring and I found that there was a Fetco, which is something that I don't see out there a lot. So is there a special deal kind of thing? And is that the only brewer that you have?
We do carry the Fetco line. We need to onboard the bun line, so I've been working on that. And
the entire bun line, that's a big line.
Well, no, I mean, I don't carry the entire Fetco line either, but
no, you don't. Touche.
Yeah. So theoretically, though, we sell. I can order. This is the other thing. Yes, we have 6,000 products on the website, but if I've got a relationship with a vendor, I also can special order anything for you. So if you want a bun brewer, John, I'll get you a bun brewer.
All 6,000 of them.
Yes, at one of everything.
We got another question from above. What do you got?
Yeah, Michael Sabel actually wanted to chat and say, why is no water coming out of my group head? Marty, could you potentially give him kind of a list of things to diagnose before calling a repair tech?
Number one, make sure you have a water source that for some mysterious reason that we haven't shut the water off to your espresso machine. The other possibility that's the most common is that there's something actually clogging there's a couple of bottlenecks in most espresso machines. There's what's called a giggler. It's a restrictor in line so that you don't just have water gushing through. And it's a pretty small, tiny little hole. At this point, if he was on the phone, if he's still there, I'd be curious what particular model, and then I could probably give you a most common for that particular model.
And we can
I guess that's Michael was saying that's his most common question that he gets. Sorry. I didn't know if.
And here we go solving it.
Exactly.
And he'll be like, no, that's not right. That's not right. So, okay. So what about home roasting equipment? I mean, it says espressoparts.com, but you're not doing home roasting stuff. And,
no, you're right. And funny enough, so this is that Marty, you talk about a customer, right? You put it out in the universe. My coworker, Jason, and I were just talking about roasting equipment today.
See, I was reading your mind.
Good job.
Putting it out there. That's my most frequently asked question tonight. I guess it's not actually. I just asked it once. I could do it again. What about home roasting equipment? Now it's the most frequent. Okay. Do you have any promotions or exclusive news to share? Like anything exciting happening?
That is a
exclusive.
Really good question.
Like you haven't told anybody, but today is the day. Right now.
Oh, really? You think so? All right.
I mean, well, no, I don't want to get you in trouble.
My hot tip for all of you is be sure to subscribe to the Espresso Parts newsletter, because that is where we send out all coupons and discounts. Oh yeah. Okay. And you can do that through our website. I'm not actually sure where.
I know what it is. It's at, I got it, espressoparts.com.
Well, yes,
and
of course.
When you get there, there's going to be like this thing that kind of like automatically goes over,
it pops up.
and you just say, click here for the newsletter. And I've done it, and I get it, and I get coupons like every day for things that I can't afford.
Every day. We don't send them every day.
I wish.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, but you're on top of it. And it's fine, and I love
it.
And I think it's
buying all that White Claw you could afford.
Oh God!
Hey, someone just commented everybody hates the mango. So like I really can't. You can't judge an entire company by the mango.
That's right.
So you do have promotions.
Yeah, this is a really good time of the year as well to be a part of the newsletter. So there's my hot tip.
All right. So do you like how I did this one? Parting words.
Yes.
See this one, Marty? Look at that. See like the little.
I like that. Yeah.
Oh, I can't get it. I can't. Nothing.
I give
Heather?
you 2 points for that one.
Thank you.
That's good.
Ew, nice.
Thanks
Yeah.
a latte. And that's got it. Does that ever get old? It does.
No,
It got
no,
old
it
like a long
doesn't.
time ago. I think it was like it was just naturally old once the first time someone says that, but I don't know. Anyway, Heather, if I think it was a good talk. This is great.
Yeah, it was great.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, are you going to be at the next trade show in September of 2021?
Is that such a thing? We did start having a conversation about, NOLA, the SCA in New Orleans coming up.
Yep, coming up real quick here in September of 2021.
Does anybody realize it's hurricane season in New Orleans?
Well, yeah,
September?
that's a part of the fun, It's like, kind of
checking.
Making, keeping things lively,
That's right. That's right.
And
Hey, I'll just throw this out here right now. John, you and I at the next SCA, we should have a booth and do live 1 hour segments.
Maybe the
awesome.
SCA will pay for it, because by then we'll just be like mega big, and we'll have we'll have 500 followers by then.
You're gonna be, it'll be more. You should talk to Be More, since you highlighted them today. Maybe they'll sponsor you.
I thought you told us that we should be more. We should have more. We should have more. We should be more. Right. That's a good one.
Be more.
Be more.
Yeah. See?
Be more. I was going to say a latte. Be more. I don't know. Be more a latte. That doesn't work.
Give up on it, John.
Just
give up on it.
This is where we normally would say this show's over. We're gonna continue to talk and blah blah blah. So maybe we should just keep on recording, because we're gonna start talking about really stupid things. But actually, it's getting late. Thank you so much, Heather, for joining us. But yeah, let's go to the waiting room, and I've got everything set up for us to enjoy the after hours. All right, so my name is John Ferguson. You can find me here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. We're not going to do this latte late show again. That's only because, well, actually, that's not true. Well, we're going to try to stay at 7 o'clock every Tuesday Central Time. Heather, thank you so much for taking the time in your time zone, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I like how that's 7 o'clock somewhere always.
It is someplace.
Yeah, and you can just call me, anybody, 402-817-9991, and Heather, where can people find you?
You can find me at espressoparts.com, and I'm also Heather at espressoparts.com if you want to reach out specifically.
And Marty,
let's go with workbenchcoffeelabs.com and 816-616-6596 or 816-529-6063. You'll get a hold of somebody that can help you out, because we're out there putting in espresso parts.
Hey, and you know what? I think I finished a fourth of this mango spritzer hard seltzer thing.
Well,
and that's it. I'm gonna go get a beer now, I think. Or just go to bed. One of the
real
two.
drink.
All right, good night, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee Tech Talk, please definitely hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe as well. You can hit the subscribe button, and next to it is the notification bell if you want to get alerted when John and Marty go live next, which will be every Tuesday. And that is all. Thanks for watching.